you're a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Clark Griswold YouTube channel. I am Mr. Clark Griswold. Thank you guys for joining in on the video today. We are just going to do a review of the top 5 play video that I put out for Tuesday, May 24th. We had 5 plays plus 2 bonus plays. We were pretty much 7 for 7 on those things, and I just want to walk you guys through them and how you could have played them. So let's get started. You can also subscribe down below if you haven't. Click that subscribe button, hit the bell. That bell gives you the notifications for when I send out videos just like this one, or when I send out our top 5 plays every day, or our watch list every day, or our swing lists every Monday. For every Monday, our monthly swing list I send out once a month at the start of the month. Informational tools, learning tools, motivational tools. I've got a 4-part series on the 30 and 30. Sarah Strat Sniper's 50% rule, what the numbers mean at the bottom of the candlesticks, entries, exits, all kinds of other things, guys. I'm putting out free information for you guys. I also want to thank a couple people for their donations. Who do we have? Mr. Rios. I've got Miss James, Miss Wilkes, and Mr. Berg. Thank you guys for your donations through that PayPal link in the description. You guys don't need to give donations, but they're appreciated for the work that I do. I spend a lot of time and a lot of work on these videos. The good thing is, guys, I'm close to being monetized through YouTube, and once that happens, I'm hoping YouTube pays me. And as long as you guys watch the ads, which I would appreciate, you watch those ads, YouTube's going to pay me. You guys never will. Okay? I don't need you guys to pay me for this. Let other people pay me to teach you guys, okay? I want to give you guys this info for free. I don't want you guys to have to pay for it, okay? You shouldn't have to pay for this. It's free info, and it's just a way, it's a tool on how to trade in the stock market, and everybody should be able to know how to do it and use it. And I want to give you guys the ability to be able to watch this stuff for free and to continue to watch it for free. And YouTube has given us that opportunity with the monetization of the channel. So if you guys watch the ads that are on here, YouTube pays me. You guys get to watch the videos for free. Okay, so let's keep that up when it happens, and let's get going on this review of the top 5 plays. So we had the first 3 plays that I gave you guys were Chewy, Airbnb, and Twitter. They were all double inside bars, which are very rare patterns, and they're super powerful. So I'm on the 5-minute chart right now, but if I switched over to the daily, just to show you guys on Chewy, if I go to the daily, you can see how well Chewy has done today off of this double inside bar. Okay, and we've also triggered on the weekly. So you could be swinging this thing all week if you wanted, but we've already hit first targets on the weekly as well. If we go down to the weekly, we've hit first targets. So realistically, you could be full out of this trade if you wanted to be. Okay, so Chewy on the daily was really great today. And it was the very first play I gave you. So if that's the only thing you guys played today, you could be done for the week, depending on. Okay, so let's go take a look at Chewy. So we go to the 5-minute bar, and in the first 5 minutes, we break this. This is our yellow trigger line from the daily chart, okay? We break that. Okay, then the second bar, guys, if I come above the high of the day, I'm out of this trade, but we don't do that, okay? We stay within this trade. I know it's a double inside bar. I know it's a powerful pattern. I know it's a rare pattern. So I'm willing to stay in this trade a little longer. So we do break back through the trigger to the upside, but we don't break through the top side, the high of the day so far. And then what happens? We continue to trend down. We hit our first target, and then we hit the weekly target. So then we have this outside bar, excuse me, where we come down and we come back up. Now again, when you're looking at managing a trade, there's so many things that we can look at, guys. We can look, and yes, we retraced through the first target. You could have been out of that trade, sure, and take your profit, and that's fine. And don't be upset about it that it continued to go down. You got out with profit, and that's what we're trying to teach is little base hits lead to bigger gains overall. Okay? But for me, I knew this triggered on the weekly already, and it triggered early. It triggered the first thing Monday morning, or Tuesday morning, sorry. So I'm going to give this thing a little bit more time, for me anyways, okay? Even though we retraced here on an outside bar. And then what happens is we come back down and we just start trending down, 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 down. And so now that I'm through this target already, and we're already down to this point, we're at, what are we at? 23, 60 cent or whatever, 60 cent depreciation on the stock. I start to look at this now, okay? Because I've already come down so far, and I'm in the money already. So this is this is a 9 EMA, and it's not part of the strat. It's something that I personally use when I've made a lot of money on a trade already. Okay? So what this does is if a candle closes above this, we are no longer short the position. If a candle closes below this, we are still short, okay? And as soon as it crosses above and closes above, then we switch to a long, okay? So we continue to trend down. We chop around here a bit. We still didn't cross this 9 EMA, okay? Then we break down right here through this target. Now again, you guys can make this second target your stop loss, or for myself, because I'm already following this 9 EMA, I'm just going to follow it. So we follow through, and we'll see what happens here. This is where the stop loss is for this trade, okay? With 3:08 left in the 5-minute period. So if we close above that line, we're out of the trade, okay? I'm actually going to pause this video here because I want to go and make sure I don't get wrecked on this trade if Chewy reverses. So give me a second. Okay, so I'm out of this trade already here now. I sold my position. I left 2 runners on just because of this weekly, okay? So I want to see if that continues down throughout the week. I've got a lot of space here, okay, for this thing to come back up. And even if we get somewhere back into this range, I've still made profit on that trade, okay? So that's on Chewy, guys. We move on to the next one, Airbnb. Airbnb, again, right off in the morning, we cross that trigger and we come down, 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 and we're through first targets, okay? And then we come back up, but we didn't break. Again, you could have made this your stop loss. That's completely fine. You would have made a lot of money on Airbnb if this was your stop loss, okay? For me, I'm waiting for these to cross back to the opposite side of this candle. So I'm looking for a reversal. So we come through first target, we come through second target, we break through the broadening formation, and we still keep coming down. Now, guys, at this point, again, I'm going to switch over and defer to this 9 EMA because I am so far down in this trade, and I've made a lot already. So for me, and you guys can use this target here if you want as your stop loss, but for me, I'm using this 9 EMA. So we come across and we're chopping around and we don't hit anything. Right here, when we break, I'll zoom in on this. We close above the top of that 9 EMA. Right there. That's where I was out of the trade. Okay? And this thing might come back down again. I don't know. But for me, that's how I personally trade. And again, this 9 EMA, guys, is not part of the strat. Trading the strat strictly on the strat, you're looking for a reversal on one of these candles here. So if we're looking at it, this right here, this outside bar where we came up above, that would have been where you stopped out. Or if you look at the daily on Airbnb, this would have been your stop loss, or anywhere in this range. And the thing is, with Airbnb right now, we're at all-time lows here on Airbnb at 0631, 106.31. There isn't anything else. That's as low as Airbnb has ever been since it came into the market in 21. I think it was 21 anyways, 21 in March. So it's never been lower than this. So we're at exhaustion risk. We're at the bottom of the broadening formation. Okay? So you can let it run if you want. I was out at that 9 EMA mark. Okay? When we're looking way back, right, whichever one it was there. And you don't have to use that tool. It's just something that I like to use, okay? Right here, that's the mark. And I don't use it all the time. That's not how I use it to trade. But when I've made so much money in a trade already and I'm down this far, I will oftentimes revert back to this, okay? And that will become my stop loss, okay? So that was on Airbnb. Twitter was the hardest one out of them all to trade today. So we're still on the 5-minute here. And I already knew on, so here's the thing. Chewy and Airbnb, I already knew in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, I already had winners there. Okay, so in the first 5 minutes, Twitter dropped down, hit first targets. That's a win, guys. That is a win. You can move your stop loss to here now, and you're out. So for me, I know it's a double inside bar. Again, I know it's a rare pattern, and I know what we've got. So this inside bar comes above, and then we have this break to the high side for a reversal. Now, when we're dealing with the Strat, talking about this is your stop loss, and you can be out, and you're done in the trade. Or you wait for a reversal, which happened here, and you would have been out with a loss. I'm using the top of this, the high of the day. If we don't break that high of the day, I'm still in this trade, which I was. Okay? So then we start to trend back down again. And we have a retest, and we have a retest, and then we break through. Okay, and we hit first targets, we hit second targets. And now here, guys, again, you can use this second target as your stop loss. Okay? But then we came here and we hit third targets. Okay? So top of the candle, second target. You can use either one of those as your stop losses. I like to use the top of the candles for the most part, or when we trend down, I like to use this 9 EMA. Okay, for me, on this trade, we hit third targets here, and that became my stop loss. I already knew I was so far ahead on Chewy and Airbnb. I don't want to get greedy. This is where I was out. Did I miss out on some gains? I sure did, because this thing came back up, and if I would have followed my 9 EMA rule here, I would have stayed in this trade all the way to here. So I would have made a little bit more money. But I'm good with it, okay? I don't need to look back in the past and say, oh, I should have made this much, or I wish I would have made this much. It doesn't matter, guys. A profit is a profit, and if you guys can gain 20% a day, that's 100% a week. It's 400% a month gains, okay? So just concentrate on those small base hits, and you guys will be fine. Okay, so now we're out of the double inside bars, which were really, really great plays, and we go into American Airlines. And this one was really simple as well, guys. We break here, and then we come down, 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 and our first reversal is right here. So again, you could have been out right there on the reversal. This is a winning trade, okay? But if you're down and you want to follow that 9 EMA rule, and I didn't make any of these trades. American Airlines, Boeing, IWM, GME, I did not trade them. I traded the 3 double inside bars today. Okay, so you had this inside bar, and then we broke to the high side. You could have been out there. It wasn't really a great break, so I'm not sure if I even would have taken the stop on that. I probably would have stayed in it. And then as we got to this point and we trended up, I would have used this 9 EMA. And from that point on, I would have looked for a break of that 9 EMA for me to get out of the trade. And we still don't have it on American Airlines. So if you're in this trade, you're making a killing. The other thing is we're on this weekly, we've got this weekly trigger here. Okay? So you can now go long on American Airlines if you're still in it through this weekly. And if we go to the daily to try and find a target there, there's the break. Our first target was hit, which is the weekly. And then if we go to the weekly chart, our first target on the weekly, it's quite far down. I don't know if we'll get there. It's at the bottom of that broadening formation that I've got drawn there. I don't know if we get to that on the weekly. We never know. We might. But if we go back to the daily, we're through there. So realistically, if you wanted to follow that 9 EMA line on American Airlines, if you're still in this trade, follow it, see what happens, and then leave some runners on and see if this thing continues to trend down, okay? Boeing is next, another airline company. And a lot of these trades, guys, they were very simple trades today. Look at this one. Boeing was killer today. So we break this inside bar. We don't come above, back up on top of that candle. So we don't break the high of this candle here. We stay in the trade and we continue down, 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 down. Like lower low, lower low, lower low, or you can say lower high, lower high, lower high. But we continue to trend down. Then we get this double inside bar, and that right there is our first break. But again, in looking at this trade, we are so far down and we have such big gains on this already that at this point, I'm switching over to the 9 EMA break. Okay, for me anyways, okay? You guys don't have to do that. You can take this break and take your profits here. That's fine. I'll zoom in there just to show you. Right here. You can take your profits here. That's fine. Okay, there's no harm in doing that. That's a really, really good trade. Okay, but if you follow the 9 EMA, we come down and trend lower. And even if you get down here and you're like, I'm good, I'm out, there's the break, you can take the break there. But for me, if I was in this trade, my stop loss would have been right here, okay? When I closed right here above this 9 EMA, I'm out of that trade. So we're looking at a difference, went from 1809 to 1843. So again, it's a 30 cent play when we're talking common shares. I'm not sure what that would be on options, but it was just a little bit more of a gain there. You're perfectly fine to get out there, guys. You would have been fine. IWM, I saw Fix It Phil said they gave away two days of gains, I think is what he said, in a matter of minutes. So there's probably your, where are we looking at, 23. There's 1 day of gains right there. There's 2 day of gains. 1 day, 2 day, and they're gone. Okay? Nice broadening formation you got there. As I think Cyberdog says that all the time. Okay, so here we are on IWM. Again, I didn't take this trade. I only traded the 3 double inside bars today. We open here and we break down, okay? And then we retrace that inside bar. Okay, so not by much. If we're trending a little bit higher, I'm probably out of this trade. I'm giving it a little bit more leeway here. And then we just continue to trend down, okay? Further, further, further. And then at this point, when we're down to here, guys, again, we've already got these really good gains here. And this 9 EMA has come down across. I'm switching over to my 9 EMA. Okay, and that's what I'm looking at. We're also starting to approach the weekly swing to the downside. Okay, so now if I follow the 9 EMA, there's a break here that you guys could have gotten out of to the upside. And then we keep coming across, coming across, coming across. And this right here, I guess that's iffy. So I probably would have been iffy on this one, but we did close above the 9 EMA at 173.02. So 173.02 to the change, I guess, up here. Where are we? Right here. So again, 70-cent difference in the share price. But this is where I would have been out on IWM. And if not there, because it's a very tight range, this is probably where I would have been out up here. And You know, I would have lost money down here, but it is what it is. I made the money where I made the money, and I leave with a happy gain. Then the last one we had was GME. So if we go back to the opening range of GME, okay, this one would have been a little bit tougher for me just because it is GME. It has tendencies to do things that I don't know if they're not normal, but GME for me is a little bit more of a risky stock, and I would have been more cautious on this one. Okay, so we break down through the trigger, and then we come back up above this candle. Now we don't break above the high of the day. So am I in this trade? I might have got out as we creeped up into this range because I don't like my losses to be too big. Okay, but in saying that, we re-triggered. So you could have got back into this trade on the re-trigger. If you're just watching GME and you're like, man, I wish that play would have hit. Well, it re-triggered, okay? So you could have got in on the re-trigger. And we came down, and that re-trigger pushed us through this weekly short, okay? And we came down a little bit further, and then we had this outside bar. So again, at this point, you've made so many gains here. Realistically, you could have got out here if you wanted to, or you could have switched over to the 9 EMA, and it doesn't always work. This is where it closed here. Okay, so you would have lost a bunch of money here. You already had gains. The other thing is we're hovering around this weekly trigger for the short. Now, if you wanted to and you had multiple contracts on GME, you could have held a couple runners on this thing just because we broke the weekly trigger for shorts. So if you wanted to hold short positions on this and swing them, you could have done that and seen how they played out. But I'm not sure if that's something I would have done on GME. Another stock, if it was like an Apple or a SPY or a Neo, something along that lines, I probably would have been more interested in holding a swing position in this to the low side. But not necessarily on GME. Anyways, guys, that's the 7 plays that we had. 7 winners, 7 for 7 on the top 5, with the 2 bonus plays included in there. I hope you guys got some good information out of this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you learn as we put out more videos. And that's why I'm here, just to help you guys learn and grow and become better traders. So if you like the video, make sure you give me a follow on Twitter. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe down below to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it, guys, very much. I hope you guys had a really great Tuesday trading day and enjoy the rest of the week. And we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.